This is the ETBU Sportsnet Coaches Show. I'm Kenneth Klein. Today we're joined by head women's basketball coach Edsel Hamilton. Coach, you had yourself a couple of games up against UT Dallas and Ozarks. Why don't you recap those for us?
Well, Dallas is a really good team. They're playing really, really well this year. They're very senior heavy. I think they started 5 seniors against us, and they were missing probably their best post player, certainly their best post player, Michaela Gonzalez, missed out. She had, I think, tweaked her ankle or something the game before ours. So, they were playing without her, but, even without her, they've still got a lot of depth. They've got a lot of experience. They've got a lot of good players, and we really gave them a game the first half. I think if we hadn't turned the ball over as much as we did, I think we would have been up by double digits. I think over 20 of their points in the first half were off the turnovers. And, this game was one where these were more of the kind of turnovers that I was expecting this year with freshmen. Our freshman point guards struggle with some pressure a little bit and lost the handle a couple times, and that led to breakaway layups. And like I said, if they hadn't gotten a few of those, if we'd have done a better job of taking care of the ball, we would have had probably at least a 6-10 point lead going into the half. Because our half-court defense is pretty good. They weren't really scoring on us in the half-court. It was really just off the turnovers. And they got some offensive rebounds in the first half, too, that kind of gave them the lead. And we shot the ball well. We played pretty well offensively. When we weren't turning it over, it seemed like we were scoring most of the time. And then the third quarter, we stopped scoring. I think we only scored 9 in that quarter. And they started hitting some threes and kind of got away from us a little bit. But, like I said, they're a really good team. And I was just proud of our kids for the way that they competed from start to finish, no matter what the score was. Obviously started the game off hot. I think Brittany Jones had our first 9 points or something like that. And so it started really well. And then even when we got down a little bit in the third quarter, they still kept battling. So, it's hard to win on the road, and especially against, they're the best team in the league right now. I think they're 8-1, 9-1, something like that. And so, it was a good showing against them. And then Ozarks, I wasn't really sure what to expect because they've been a little up and down this year. They've had some games where they've scored 80 to 90 points, and they've had some other games where they've scored 50 to 60 points. So, weren't really sure what we were going to get out of them. Just was really focused on, our kids competing and just playing as hard as they can from start to finish, and then we'll let the results take care of themselves. And we had some kids make some big plays in that game. We were excited to get our first conference win, and especially on the road is always tough. We were missing one of our 2 seniors in that game. She got hurt, her elbow in the Dallas game. We're hoping she'll be back this week, but we were missing her. And we had some freshmen step up again. I think Brittany Jones hit a big shot late. Caitlin Packett, our other senior, really shot the ball well for us. This is the first game she's really gotten a lot of attempts from 3, and I think she ended up 4 for 11. And maybe we should have been trying to get her the ball more throughout the rest of the season. But she made a big impact for us, hitting some big threes. We had a couple of stretches where we went on some runs where we had multiple people hit threes. We haven't shot the ball that well all season. We went 10 for 30 from 3, which seems like we've had a lot of games where other people have done that to us, and so it was good to finally have us be on the right side of that for once, where we were the ones making a lot of shots. But yeah, Brittany made a big 3 late that kind of got us into the game. We started out slow and then worked our way back in, then pulled ahead, and we were down 8-0 to start the game, and we ended up getting an 8-point lead of our own there late in the second half. And then they came back and took the lead from us again. We were playing from behind, and then the last play of the game, Jade Jeffries hit a 3 that was basically turned into a game winner with about 10 seconds left. And I called the timeout so we could draw up a play, and the play that I drew up was really, we were trying to get Amanda Wilson the ball. It was our other freshman who's been playing great in the post, and she had been scoring pretty well in that game. And Hannah Holt's been our leading scorer this year. Had fouled out, and so Jade was out there, and I felt like this was a game that Jade could play well in, and she really did. She played really well. She controlled the game, and we drew the play up, and it was kind of a slow developing play to try to get the ball to Amanda. So I wanted to make sure we started it with enough time to let the play work, and they just lost track of Jade. It was all part of the play, and I tell the kids all the time, like, our plays, there's 5, 6, 7. There's all these different options on all the plays, and so be ready to score anytime we get to one of those options and you're open. And they just totally lost track of her, and she was wide open. And my only fear at the time was like, oh man, it's too early. There's too much time left on the clock. But I was just so glad that she had confidence to step in and knock it down. So she hit a big 3, and put us up by 2, and then we were real fortunate their last shot rattled in and out. It looked like it was going down. But we were able to keep the ball out of their best player's hands, which was important to us, and made somebody else try to beat us, and she missed. So real excited for the kids to get a road win. So that was a lot of fun this weekend. Yeah, and really 2 of the best players. I mean, LeTourneau Drakes has been playing great. I think I haven't looked at the stat leaders, but she's got to be leading the conference in rebounding. I think she's up over 13 a game, averaging 17 and a half a game. So really the 2 of them are really carrying them, and they're really good. And Crystal Jones, I think, led the league in scoring last year and was all conference and everything. I think she's leading the league in scoring again this year. She's up over 20 points a game. She's a different type of player, and there's just not many girls that can do what she does, being able to shoot pull-up jumpers off the dribble, where she can get her shot off at any time. And I think we've got some different people we can throw at her with Brittany and Katina and Janice and some of our better defensive players. But she's going to get her shots off. I mean, it doesn't matter what you do with her defensively, because she elevates so quick, she releases so quick. You just got to hope that you're there contesting and hope that she misses, honestly. So, they're another team that's been a little up and down too. They've had some the record's been good in conference, but they've had some games where they score a lot and had some games where they haven't scored very much. So if they're hitting jumpers, if they're making their shots, we're going to be in for a long day. So we hope that we can do a really good job defensively, just try to encourage them to take the shots that we want them to take and contest them and just be there and not give people wide open looks. And then Drake's, I said, we just got to keep her off the boards, and she's just real crafty. She doesn't look like she's very athletic. She runs kind of funny sometimes, but then she'll turn it on, and she's got this quick burst going to the rim with the ball or going to get rebounds, and she can get off the floor. And she's a hard player to deal with. But they're another team that's senior heavy. I think their top 8 scorers are all seniors, so very different from us. And they're having a good season, and so we hope we can compete with them. And again, I'm really worried about our effort level, and it's been really good the last couple weeks. If we keep that up, I think we'll be fine. Yeah, they've been a surprise this year. I really thought coming into the season that they were going to be maybe the best team in the country. Really, I went to the Division III championship game last year, and I thought they were as good or better than both teams that I watched in that game. Now, they lost one of their best players, and I said last year, I voted her pretty high, and Alex Kochner, I voted her pretty high in all-conference ratings, because I thought she was just really, really important to what they did, with her being able to play on the perimeter and handle the ball, make plays off the dribble, shoot a little bit, but also be able to guard inside and out, because, we thought we'd have an advantage with them last year because we had, 2 really good post players. But she was able to guard in there, but spread us out on the perimeter, and she kind of made them go. So she's been hurt all year, and so not having her has made a big difference for them. But they've struggled a little bit in conference this year. I think they've lost a lot more games than anybody would have thought, but they're still really good. They're still really, really good. They've still got a couple of the best players in the conference, and Michelle Obach and Mackenzie May, and then of course their post players are really good as well. They've got some really good defensive players and three-point shooters on the perimeter. They're going to be really hard to play against. We'll hope that coming in that they'll maybe overlook us a little bit, but we gave them all they could handle last year, all 3 times that we played them, and so I'm sure they're not going to come into the game taking us lightly. So we're going to have to bring it and again just have the ultimate competitiveness in that game to compete with them, and then we'll just kind of see who makes shots and who can get stops and let the chips fall where they may.